Well, Linda, thank you so much for helping with my project. Could you say a little bit about yourself?
Thank you for inviting me, Nathan. My name is Linda. I am a space studies student, just along with you, and I'm in my master's at Rice.
What got you into it? Like, why did you decide to do this instead of something different?
I really got sucked into the aerospace industry by other people's passion for it. My sister and my mom, they're really into it, and my sister, she wanted to be an aerospace engineer for her whole life. So I took a blindfolded step, you can say that. I studied out of nowhere aerospace physiology, and just everyone around me was so passionate that I was convinced.
And the aerospace physiology, is that like related to like the human performance stuff we
It
were just
really
talking
is.
about? Okay.
Human performance in extreme environments is what it focuses on. It's not only the body of astronauts, but also the body of pilots or people who do high altitude training, people who go into research into Antarctica.
And scuba divers, I imagine.
Scuba
too.
divers, yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know. Well, humans are going to have to learn to live in all sorts of environments if we're going to be any place other than Earth.
Definitely.
Do you think that's going to happen? That we'll have humans living in these extreme environments?
Do I think that's going to happen? I hope it's going to happen, but I think it is possible. Why? Because we already made it to the moon. When we put our mind to something, we end up doing it through a bunch of teamwork and a bunch of planning and getting things done. Yes, there's a lot of challenges. Ionizing radiation, it's one of the big ones. The flight over there is going to be long, so being in microgravity for a long time, how is that going to affect us? So with the Artemis programs are going to help us see how our body responds to those reactions, to those environments, so we can learn how to overcome those challenges. So yes, I definitely think we can make it. It's going to take a little while.
Do you think in 200 years we have people living their lives like on other planets and in space, or do you think we're still just here on Earth making these little short trips?
If you asked someone in 1923, they would have thought there are flying cars. The technology has advanced so much in the past 50 years compared to 100 years. I don't know if I'm explaining myself.
No, absolutely. I mean, like 100 years ago, we really didn't have electricity as widespread, or
right.
like the, well, I guess maybe 150 years ago.
Self-driving cars we have already.
Yeah.
One. And yes, I do think so. I hope so. I don't know how possible it is. I would have to have more time to think about that one.
And so you mentioned Artemis. When did you find out that we're planning to go back to the moon?
When did I find out that? It was probably during my undergrad, 2018 maybe. I started hearing a lot of it, and all my classmates were talking about Artemis, this, Artemis that, and I had to ask. So I found out really through my classmates.
You're like, why are they so interested in Greek mythology all of a sudden?
And then I started learning why we're going back, why we stopped going, and I just kept being pulled back into it.
Those are two questions I get asked regularly. Why do we stop going, and then why are we going back? I was just wondering, what are your favorite answers to that?
What are my favorite answers? Well, the answer that I think of is why we stopped going, because one, we had done a bunch of science already. We had all the samples that we needed. Correct me if I'm wrong. And the second one is because NASA started allocating money to the shuttle programs. And why are we going back? We want to go back because we want to use it as a point of, like a stopping point to go to Mars. We truly want to go to Mars, but we need to stop at a halfway point for refueling with the hydrogen at the moon, and having the astronauts rest, do some stuff, and keep going to get all the way to Mars. Am I right?
I mean, it sounds good. I think there's many reasons why we're going back, and those definitely are some of them for sure.
Those are my favorite ones.
Would you believe that most of the people I talk to, like out in the street, even around the NASA area, only about 20% of them know that we're going back to the moon?
20%?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought it was a bigger thing. And probably I'm just sucked so much into this world.
I think if we randomly asked like 10 people here, only like 2 of them
Would know that we're going back to Earth.
Yeah.
I mean, to the moon. No, I did not. That is surprising.
Maybe after we do this, we could just go randomly up to somebody
Someone.
and ask and say,
When do you think we're going back to the moon? Are we going back to the moon?
yes, something like that. We can phrase it however.
Yeah, I actually, my mom didn't think we were going back to the moon because she believed that we never did.
Oh, really? I've gotten that a couple of times too. One person I said, "Did you know that we're going to the moon?" He's like, "No, but I hope we make it this time." So, anyway.
We did.
If you could, would you take a trip to space?
Yes, without thinking about it.
Like, how far would you go?
How far would I go? I would love to go to Mars. I would love to go to Mars.
To live, or
to
just
live,
to
to
visit?
be one of the first settlers on Mars. I would love it. I'd miss my dog.
Well, bring your dog
But-
with you.
Can we?
I mean, why
Why
we're gonna
not?
be
Like
living
the
there.
first settlers.
I don't.
The
I
first
would think we
settlements
would
on
need to
Mars?
bring
I
a
think
lot
that's gonna be
of life with us. Well, I thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure. Thank you for your time and thank you for the interview.
Yeah, no worries.